Hey kids, do you want an Overlord but short on time, money, and shelf space? Have I got a treat for you. Iron Factory Overlord, today on World of Stuff. Okay, for those of you who don't know, Iron Factory tends to produce high quality but much smaller versions of essentially leader class or higher toys. They also tend to do a lot of the War for Cybertron line in a well, essentially a pocket size. I guess this might count as pocket size. But as for scale itself, well, let's see here now. Got a can of soda here. Roughly about a little smaller than that. So now what else have we got? Here we go. Combiner Wars Trail Cutter. Troll Breaker, sorry. Let's see. So he's smaller than that. So he's, you know, what about a actual trail cutter here? A little bit bigger. So he's like a small deluxe size, but he will cost you about the same as a later class toy. But you also get no hollow points spaces there, made from high quality plastic, and a great deal of articulation. So make it that what you will, but I know that a lot of people would prefer to have the original one, but if you ever try to track one down, it's either missing parts, it's horrendously expensive, or regardless of which mode he's in, he is, well, a G1 character that would pretty much take up the entirety of your desk, especially in base mode. Whereas this is more of a desk toy. Yes, I did add a faction symbol there, courtesy of Rebel Labels. Thank you for noticing. Now, some of you may notice that he has two accessories here. His gun, which also doubles as the tank barrel, and a sword. This sword was effectively a bonus. I imagine you could still probably get one now if you so choose, so that's something. Now, note about the back here is that you have a couple options. You can either store the ramp. It's a rather tenuous grip there, but you can do it. But personally, I prefer to have the plain nose cone on it. You just kind of slide it in right there and fold it down. Now, they do have instructions for removing it, which you do have to do at some points in time. And they are very specific about how you do this, because otherwise you're going to break this part off, this little C-clip part off. So keep that in mind. That is very important. Okay, here we have Overlord as the two separate vehicles. Yes, there is parts forming involved, but it's a G1 toy. Well, it's based off a G1 toy. What do you really expect? And these are two rather neat vehicles here. We have a rather large jet here, and we have a tank. A jet power tank. So, yeah, you could definitely have some interesting things going on here. Now, I'll show you the base mode itself. The transformation is fairly obvious, but it's still interesting to show you, because that's where a lot of the differences in this particular toy show themselves. The robot mode we'll get to in a little bit here. But anyway, on to base mode. Alrighty, here we have the base mode here, and well, it's a lot more compact than the original version. This is well, this is essentially be about the length of a Voyager-sized toy, whereas the original would be the size of an entire desk. Now, granted, it also has a lot of greebles and bits on it that make it a bit more of a base mode, a bit more cohesive, but those are pieces that you're going to lose. That make it cost a lot more money to own it. I'm perfectly fine with this one, mostly because it gives me enough of the experience of the base mode without actually having to do a lot of legwork. Yes, it may sound lazy for some of you, but let's face it, sometimes if you don't have the money or the space, you just got to go with what you can get here. And this is actually fairly easy to attain. Okay, for those of you who don't quite get it here, or don't understand why this is important, Overlord here is essentially a high quality and small version of the Master Force villain of Overlord, which is known for being exceptionally large, exceptionally impressive, and exceptionally hard to find and expensive. Well, it's not necessarily hard to find. You can easily find them. It's just finding with all the parts is difficult and exceptionally expensive. Especially since it was a Japan release only, so that tends to make things even more difficult depending on your circumstances. So having this version is a definite plus. Now, if you're looking for something that's more the size of the original, Mastermind Creations is creating something called Carnifex, which is essentially a modern version of Overlord. But we haven't heard from them on that project for a little while now, so I don't know exactly what's happening with that. I haven't really been following it, but there hasn't been too much information on the matter, so they've either had to completely rework it, or they're still in the prototypes because things that keep breaking off. That'd be my best guess anyway. Anyway, let's get this figure into his vehicle modes, and then we'll continue to transformation. Okay, here we have them back in the vehicle modes. So let's see. Let's move on to the robot transformation, shall we? Okay, we'll disconnect these. Yes, parts forming. OMG. Move on. Here. Okay. Split the tank apart. Take out this part and fold out this for the gun. So now we'll fold this part down. Fold this part inward like that. Let's see here now. Then now these go in a very specific order here. Actually, hang on. Yes, they do go in a specific order because they go in back this way. There's that. And let's see now. We take one of the ramps. No, that one. There we go with that one. And connect it to that like there. Repeat with the other, well, what will be the other leg. There we go. Perfect. And yeah, you do got to fold these parts, these pigs in for this part, so they pig in fairly securely. There we go. Pair of disembodied legs. Probably make a joke there. I don't know what it would be, but there you go. Okay. Fold back the nose cone here. Disconnect this part for the what will be the arms. Fold back the wings. Open up these parts to eventually bring out the hands. Okay. Repeat here. Eventually. There we go. There we go. And we'll fold down this part and fold this up. Fold this up, fold this down. Like so. You twist the head back, fold down these stumps so that you can connect the legs to them. Now the connection to these legs is fairly tight, so you don't have to worry too much about it. They don't feel you're going to break something tight, but they can be a little bit stubborn when you're trying to get them separated. And let's see here. There we go. Give it a bit of light here. Gun, sword. There we go. Overlord in robot mode. Yay! Alright, as for articulation, head is on a stem ball joint, so you can get a fair amount of movement there. So now ball joint for the shoulder. So now mushroom peg for the bicep, and a hinge joint for the elbow. Nothing for the hand itself, but oh well. Nothing for the waist as well. But well, that's because it has to be a base mode as well as an airplane, so you can't have everything there. Ball joint for the hip. Let's see here now. Due to transformation, he does have an upper thigh swivel there. Yep, hang on a second. So now, and you can get a 90-degree knee there. So we got that. And you can move the feet around because they're on a sort of a stem joint there. And one more note is that you can remove these wings if you so choose. So you can actually make this the shield. Let's see here now. Since I saw fit to note it. Oh, there we go. Okay, there. This little peg right there goes right in there for a shield. Yep. So you can do that as well, if that excites you. Okay, yes. So obviously I very much like this particular version of Overlord / Overlord here, aside from the rather questionable storage here. He run you about $40 and you'll primarily be at online retailers, so which shouldn't be a problem for most collectors anyway. So if you're looking for a shelves and money and time-saving Overlord, you can certainly do a lot worse than this. I've seen knockoffs so that are this small that don't look nearly as good, so believe me, you could do a lot worse. Or if you're so inclined, you could either go for the potentially upcoming Mastermind Carnifex, or you can try to find the original. Either way, you'll have an Overlord in your hands, one way or another. Alright, that wraps up this review. I am the Deceptwolf. This has been Iron Factory Evil Lord, and I bid you all good night.